Hey everybody, this is TJR.
This is Superfan.
And
We got the kid with us today too.
yes, we do have our little guy here, but he doesn't get a microphone, and with good reason.
You don't want to hear him talk.
That's right. So, a couple weeks ago, with, I'm guessing, little to no fanfare that I heard of, and I don't
Me
think you
neither.
heard of any fanfare about this, but the Live Aid YouTube channel, in honor of the 40th anniversary of Live Aid, has released what we're assuming is the entirety of the Live Aid broadcasts.
Yes.
And we're assuming this because we haven't watched all of it yet. It's a lot. And we decided that we wanted to try to rewatch this stuff. And what's nice about this is that they've cut it up into chapters. Each chapter is roughly an hour, give or take, roughly.
Yeah.
And which makes it easy to re-experience Live Aid, in manageable bites, basically, is how I'll put it. If you're watching this, I'm sure you know what Live Aid is. I don't think we have to explain to you what happened 40 years ago. But just in case, of course, Live Aid was the huge worldwide event concert on 2 continents, organized by Bob Geldof.
Well, no, it was on all continents, I believe.
Well, yes, you're right. It was on a lot of continents, but primarily England and the U.S.,
yeah.
though there were performances from other countries interspersed throughout.
Yeah, and Soviet Union, Canada, Japan, Yugoslavia, Austria, Australia, and West Germany, to be exact.
There you go. Thank you. But yeah, primarily it was the UK and the US where they had the 2 main stages. You were telling me that you got up like around
4 o'clock in the morning.
to start watching from
The beginning.
the beginning, which was the UK
Unlike
stage.
you cannot say
Huh?
you're watching it again because some of this
Yes,
stuff
some of
you
this-
are watching for the first time.
I admit some of this I am watching for the first time.
Because you're not a real music fan.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna that's where we're taking this, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll turn off the camera, and you and I can have a little discussion, I guess, with the kid watching. Anyway, but no, yeah, you're right. I some of this I've seen since then because we do have
Yeah.
the DVD set. The 2 of us, we do have the DVD set. I think it actually belonged to you. I
Yes.
forget what music belongs to who sometimes, but we've been living together so long. We thought it would be fun to rewatch these, and like I said, they've got them in chapters, so you can see them in manageable bites,
Yeah.
and watch them over a period of time, and just reflect on the performances. It was an amazing event when it happened. I mean, it was just unbelievable that all these acts, and there were, legendary reunions as well.
Yeah.
So much. I do wonder if the Led Zeppelin reunion will be included in these performances because they were not included on the DVDs because Led Zeppelin didn't want them included. And so I do wonder about that. Just had to bring up that side note, but we haven't gone that far yet. Like I said, we're just barely starting to watch them. And so we thought we'd talk about the first hour, which was in the UK, and just the different people that played then. Many of these are music acts that you would know better than me because while you and we have a few years between us, you're a little bit younger than me, it was just enough that I was more of the classic rock, 70s FM rock generation,
Yeah.
whereas you were more of the 80s new wave is the best word I can think of to use.
Yeah.
Music generation, which actually began in the late 70s, but we think of the 80s when we think of most of those acts. And a lot of them you were more into than I was. Some of them I've since gotten into later in life. But let's just go ahead and talk about the music. Basically, we start off with...
We start off with the Coldstream Guards.
yes, this is a marching band, right?
Yeah.
Are they like an official UK, like...
They are a military band. They're part of the They are the oldest and best known band in the British Army. And they were formed on May 16th, 1785.
Wow. Wow. We only just hear them briefly at the beginning of part 1, where Bob Geldof, who of course organized Feed the World, Do They Know It's Christmas, excuse me. Do They Know It's Christmas, the charity single that began all of this.
Yeah.
That would also inspire We Are the World in the U.S. and of course this concert that he organized first. Do They Know It's Christmas, the charity single, and then that led him to organize this enormous concert event. But Bob Geldof, who was then Prince Charles, now King Charles,
Yeah.
Lady Diana, who's sadly no longer with us, we hear them playing as they're walking out to take their seats in the audience.
Yeah. They played the Royal Salute and, of course, God Save the Queen.
There you go, yeah. And we do briefly see them on camera
Yeah.
before the first rock act makes their appearance. A band called Status Quo that you were definitely more familiar with than I was. They were much bigger. They're like a big band in England.
They were, they were a party band, kind of.
They were very American sounding. Their style is very much Americana rock, bar band style.
Well, yeah, they started in the 60s. Originally known as the Paladins, and they started in 1962.
I think I've heard that name, the Paladins. I think I've heard that name before.
Well, the reason they changed their name was because there was another act called the Paladins.
Okay, that's why. But apparently, I remember
They went through several name changes for the same problem.
Oh, okay. I remember you saying as we were watching that they were a band that started as teenagers, youngsters,
Yeah.
and are still together to this day,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
They are.
That's amazing. I mean, they're...
But then again, so are the Coldstream Guards.
That's true.
They've got a couple hundred years on them.
Yes, but when you're a part of a military institution and people are going to come in and out of that musical entity, very different from a band.
Okay.
Which is a completely different type of musical entity. Very hard for bands to stay together as that long. And who knows, maybe the fact that they were never worldwide huge
Yeah.
played a part in keeping them together. You never know. From what I understand, they had some hits in England. They were known there. They weren't as well known here. But they had the perfect opening song.
They did.
Which was a song called Rockin' All Over the World. They did 3 tunes, but yeah, they were very American rock and roll sounding. But yeah, they were like median age, roughly about their late 20s, early 30s. And
yeah.
roughly
More
around
on
there.
The 30 side
yeah.
than the...
And this was back when rock musicians could be older. We were more accepting of that. I kind of miss those days.
Well, they're still older now.
This is true. That's never going to change for them, I'm afraid.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
no. I wish, because if they could go back, so could we.
Yeah. Oh well. Following Status Quo, we've got the Style Council. This is a band, of course, that you know better than me.
Yeah, I was familiar with them. I was introduced to them by a friend from school, Aaron, who was had the album, and a really good album.
When they started their set, and of course this is my first time seeing this set, I knew the name, the Style Council. I knew the name of the band, but I couldn't think of any of their music. And back at this time during the 80s, this was part of that 80s scene that I didn't care for, that
Keyboards.
I just dismissed. I just dismissed it. There was some 80s stuff that I'll admit I did like, that was considered new wave. Obviously, there was Elvis Costello, there was The Police, there was Devo, but this was part of that group of musicians and music that I just dismissed right off the bat. And listening to it now, I hear it and I think, wow, this is really good.
Yeah. They are very good.
This is, kind of like, I would just classify this as kind of world music, pop music, is how I would describe it. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's how I would describe it.
It's very mod. It was inspired somewhat by the Who. Mm-hmm. And his prior band, The Jam, was very inspired by
The Who?
The Who.
Oh,
and
okay. And I've heard of The Jam. Of course, knew about them. But
we've seen him on many, Paul Weller, we've seen him on many documentaries that we've watched, music documentaries.
And later he would have a solo career after this.
Yeah.
But all of these songs, none of them I recognize, but I like the performance. I thought the band very talented. Mm-hmm. Paul Weller's vocals remind me a lot of Elvis Costello. And I just thought the songs were really fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them a lot, actually.
Yeah, and the Style Council is made up by Paul Weller and Mick Talbot, who played keyboards.
Yeah, they're a duo.
It's a duo.
And, but yeah, this was one of those bands that I would have dismissed back in the day, that watching now I think is actually really good. You were mentioning that you don't have this album, and you were kind of actually...
I'm kind of ashamed.
That you realized you didn't have it. And so this is one that I would say when we go on our little estate sale trips for vinyl, used vinyl, maybe you can score a vintage 80s vinyl copy of it.
Yeah.
That we can listen to.
That's definitely a goal.
Yeah. But yeah, I like this band. I thought they were really fun to listen to. And again, time will do that for you.
Another interesting little tidbit is that Paul Weller had been into music in his youth, but in 1972, he decided, after going to a Status Quo concert, that he wanted to be a musician.
So the band that opened this huge event, Status Quo, was his inspiration for becoming a musician.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very awesome. Next, we have the first band that I can say that back in the day I knew who this band was. That's the Boomtown Rats, which of course is Bob Geldof's band.
Yeah.
Who organized all of this. And my gosh, you have to think that here he is. Who knows how ragged he's been running himself trying to get this organized.
Ragged? Look at him. He's exhausted. You can see it in his
And yet
face.
he's performing amazingly. We're looking at an image of him on the TV right now as we talk about this. He is, he's run himself ragged doing all of this. He has to meet Prince Charles and Lady Diana. He has to,
He was there when the concert started. He was with them.
Yeah. And then he has to leave from the audience so that he can...
30 minutes in.
30 minutes in so he can perform with his band, which is probably very smart because then he can go back to concentrating on...
coordinating.
Yeah,
but
all of this.
That was one of the things this was a very difficult thing. Everybody thought they were more important than everybody else. And it's like, I'll do it, but I have to be ahead of this person and I can't be next to that person. And there was a lot of behind the scenes drama that he had to deal with that has never been mentioned, but it was there.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of diva behavior.
I've heard the story. I've heard some of the stories.
Yeah. And Bob Geldof could have said, hey, I'm running this. I get to headline.
He could have.
He could have done that. He could have pulled rank. But it was very smart of him not to, because if he's, I figure he's got to be exhausted at this point. You say he looks exhausted. I think he looks fantastic. And I think he's performing.
He does, but...
I think his performance is fantastic on this. But I keep thinking to myself, think of how tired he would have been if he'd headlined.
Yeah, he would have been done at the end of the evening.
So yeah, it was very smart of him to go on
actually,
early.
he kind of was a puddle because he was out on stage.
Yeah. But it's a great performance by them, and of course, I knew who this band was back in the '70s. I liked the song
80s.
"I Don't Like Mondays," which they opened with on their set. It's probably the only song I knew by them. I had a high school friend that I'm still friends with to this day who was a huge fan of the Boomtown Rats. He had a lot of their albums, if not all of them. He was a big fan. But
And because of him, I have them all too.
really, did he like?
I'm not going to say how I got them from him, but yeah, he hooked me up.
Oh, well, that's very cool. Very cool. Very cool. But anyways, though, yeah, just a great performance by him. You got to give him credit for all that he had to do leading up to this point, and then to have to get out there and perform. And to perform as well as he did and as well as the band did.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, he's a generous person. He's a very generous person.
Yeah, you've definitely told me stories about him
Yeah.
that have really impressed me, about him as just a human being. Rare within, like you said, when you look at all the other performers and kind of the whole diva mentality, I have to be after them or before them or not next to them or whatever, all of that,
Yeah, well, one of the stories was in trying to coordinate this, he ran up a phone bill that he couldn't pay.
Yeah,
I believe Prince Charles ended up paying it for him.
that's great. It's good to hear.
But, he was struggling to make rent while he was doing this.
Wow. Amazing. Next is Adam Ant,
Yes,
formerly Adam and the Ants.
yes.
And this is an artist that back in the day I knew who this was. My little sister had a crush on him, big time crush on him. I'm imagining maybe a lot of young girls did, I'm
Yeah.
guessing. But this is after Adam and the Ants. Beyond that, I kind of only know him for like a song or two.
Yeah.
He does Viva La Rock. This is the only song he does on this performance. I don't know if you want to share any thoughts about him.
I never had any of the records. I thought that Adam Ant and Adam and the Ants were fun,
Uh-huh.
but they were never,
Big on your radar?
they came up on the radio and I enjoyed it.
Oh, and that's about it. Okay. But yeah, only one song. He certainly is a very physical, or was a physical performer. Then finally we shift the first, I guess, kind of cutaway performance to Australia with In Excess.
Yes.
And another band that, of course, I would have been familiar with back in the day, with one of their early hits, Don't Change a Thing.
Don't change.
Don't
actually.
Change. Okay, I call it Don't Change a Thing just because of the way he sings the chorus.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people might do the same thing. But great song. Always
Great
been a great
band.
song. Great band. Yes. Just the other day, I picked up the Listen Like Thieves, deluxe edition, anniversary deluxe edition. We, in fact, talked about it on a video here. And we get two songs, two hit singles, Don't Change and What You Need.
Yeah, sadly, we lost Michael Hutchins too young.
Yeah.
It was a very sad thing.
Yeah.
But it's a whole thing there too with Bob Geldof.
Uh-huh. I know you've mentioned this before, but yeah, talk about it again, please.
Well, Bob Geldof's partner, wife at the time, ended up leaving him for Michael Hutchins.
Mm-hmm.
They had a child.
Michael Hutchins and Bob Geldof's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Just making sure everybody understands who you're referring to. Go ahead.
He had 3 children with Paula Yates,
Okay, that was his wife, and then later ex-wife,
later ex-wife.
who hooked up with Michael Hutchins, and they had
a child.
Yeah, and of course, then sadly we lost Michael Hutchins.
A couple years later, Paula Yates passed away, OD'd.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Geldof adopted their child so that she could be raised with her sisters.
Yeah, which speaks a lot to the kind of person that Bob Geldof is. That he would adopt their child
Yeah.
and raise her, bring her into his family, and speaks a lot to the just the kind of person he is. And I think that's just, I just heard when the first time you ever told me that, I was just kind of blown away by that. Just wow. And within excess, that brings us to the end of part 1 on the Live Aid YouTube channel. It ends just shy of an hour. And, we've decided that we are going to watch every single chapter in this. We wanted to mainly kind of let the rest of you know about this because I don't think there was much fanfare about this.
There haven't been a whole lot of views on this considering
what a huge event this was.
Yeah, it's been up for 2 weeks. It's had 313,000 views.
Yeah.
This particular
Chapter.
part 1.
Yeah, part 1.
Now, it could be argued these aren't the big name acts, and I haven't even looked at the others because we're just going through them.
We're doing it chronologically. And yeah, we just wanted to kind of like bring it up. And I think that this is kind of a great thing to re-experience. Even the artists that you might say to yourself, hey, I was never into that or into them, I would say, watch it. You might be surprised at how time changes how you feel about music that maybe you weren't as into 40 years ago. You might be surprised at how you view musical performances now versus then. And I would recommend it. Also, it's a great thing, I think, to share with, if say you've got kids that don't know about this, or, you know, that type of thing, nieces or nephews that you're close with. I would recommend that too as well. I'm sorry, you want to say something?
It's kind of a reintroduction to some of these bands that you may have forgotten about too.
Yeah.
That, you know, you heard a hit.
You remember back in the day, and you haven't really heard much about them since.
You know, like, for example, my comment about the Style Council, that I need to get that album.
Yeah.
Or those albums. I believe there were a few. At least a couple.
Yeah.
But that first album is the one that I had the experience with, and I definitely need to get that.
Yeah. I'm very glad that we watched this, and like I said, a lot of this I'd never seen before. A lot of these were musical acts that back in the day, some of them I would have just dismissed, said I'm not into that, and I ended up enjoying a lot of these performances way more than I would have thought I might have. So yeah, I definitely would say don't just gravitate towards the artists that you know. I mean, you can do what you want, of course. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I just would recommend that if you revisit this, revisit it in, chronologically, and just kind of take it all in as it happened. This was great seeing this again, and we are going to watch the others. Whether we're going to do a video on the other chapters is going to depend on the response that this video gets. Maybe we'll go ahead and do the second chapter, just go ahead and do it while we wait to see how this one does. But, we might keep doing this chapter by chapter. If you'd like to see us do that, please let us know. And of course, we'd really appreciate it that if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this commentary, to just hit like. It's free to do. It helps the video, it helps the channel, and we appreciate it a lot. A big thank you to the patron supporters. Patron supporters receive exclusive videos not available on this channel, and also, in some cases, advanced looks before they post on the channel. And otherwise, thank you everybody for watching. We appreciate it, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
I know the band you saw on Tatooine was much better, Grogu, you think. But these are our bands here on
these
this
are Earth
planet.
bands.
We like them better.
Than your Yoda World bands.
Yeah.
We don't know what planet he's from.